What's it like, now it feels like you guys have just had so many weird days where games are on. I mean, what's that like in terms of the rhythm, having playing on Sundays for most of the year, now having, a bunch of random days that you're playing on?
I mean, I think kind of just have the same week that we had last week with the one day last week, and same deal this week. So kind of the same schedule, and I think do a good job just communicating the schedule, and everybody knows, especially after doing the exact same thing last week, kind of what it takes.
What stands out about this Vikings defense?
I mean, anytime you pitch a shutout, it's definitely going to turn a lot of heads in the NFL. It's pretty impressive, and they bring a ton of pressure, and fly around and make a lot of plays.
Jake, you mentioned they blitz a lot, but they also drop 8 a lot. What is the challenge of that pre-snap, post-snap?
I mean, it's just kind of the extremes of both. So you got to be prepared for both and kind of see it post-snap. So, I think it presents a lot of difficulties, but, working to put together a plan where got answers for both.
Are there any extra emotions going up against Minnesota?
No, not really. I know a lot of people over there, obviously. But, it's a different coaching staff, different GM. So it's really just be nice to see some familiar faces pre and post game. And but no, I don't feel any type of way about it.
What did you take away from your time there? What was the most important thing you gained from that experience?
I enjoyed my time there a lot. I mean, there was 2 years there where they were kind of the only team that wanted me. And so, I think if anything, there's some appreciation for my time there. And, I think it kind of set me up to come into this building and do what I've been able to do over the last couple of years. And I think being around Kirk was great for me. I think he's a pro's pro, and I learned a lot from him. He was a very open book with me, coming in as an undrafted guy and formed a really good relationship with him where I felt like I could kind of ask him anything. And, I think just in general, my feelings about my time there were very positive. And I'm very appreciative for the time that I spent there.
Have you heard from Kirk since you started playing much, or has he reached out to you during this process?
Yeah, but I'll just kind of keep those conversations private. But yeah, Kirk's been great to me. And I got nothing but great things to say about him. It was nice to see I watched the quarterback show, and it was nice to see that like he came across that was my experience with him. Like that was very genuine, and I think it was good for everybody to kind of see that. I remember when he has not gifted me Cole's cash. No.
Did you like playing for that? I talked about it before, but did you like playing for Zimmer?
I enjoyed my time there. I think Zimmer was more on the defensive side, so a lot of my time was spent with my rookie year. Was Gary Kubiak was running the scout team, and so he was a Super Bowl winning head coach, and he's coaching me up on scout team cards, and I gained a lot from that. And so I would say obviously liked playing for Zimmer. He gave me my opportunity, but most of my time was spent with the offensive staff.
What do you think of Kubiak? Just spending that much time with a guy like that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed my time with him. Still keep in touch with him. Got a good relationship with him, and I think one thing is you come into the league as an undrafted guy, like nobody's really throwing out your praise, and so he was always really good to me. When I would make a good play, like maybe I'm not getting a ton of reps, and we'd be walking off, and he's kind of say, like, "Hey man, you got a good shot here." Like I remember after rookie mini camp, he's like, "Hey, that was one of the better rookie mini camps I've seen. Like you got a legitimate shot." Now maybe he didn't mean that at all, but at the time I thought, yeah, okay, that's pretty cool.
Have you heard from him?
Yeah. I text back and forth with him pretty often.
What do you have any thoughts at all about being able to make a start against them, given kind of where you're at here and what's at stake for you all? I mean, any reflections on the fact that you were kind of now leading a team in a playoff chase and going up against them this late season?
No, I mean, I get like where the story is there, but like I said, I got nothing but great memories there. Those are great people there. my girlfriend and I both really enjoyed our time there, and felt very well taken care of. It's a great organization to play for, and just keep going back to. I really appreciate and have good memories of my time there.
You were obviously confident coming into this when you got the starting job. Is your confidence grown over the past couple of starts, going out there and doing what you thought?
I don't know. I feel like I'm like a little bit naturally go against the grain where everyone says it's going really well, and I'm kind of like, it's not going as well as everybody says, and then everybody says it's terrible. I'm like, oh, it's actually a lot better than everybody says. So I don't know. I think really the biggest adjustment has been like I'm so tired of talking about myself. Like it's I don't have that many opinions on a lot of different things, and I'm like sitting in my locker before this, like trying to formulate, okay, what is my opinion? I don't really have one, and so I'm trying to like come up with one, give you guys an answer. But yeah, I think that's really been the biggest. Create a lot of clutter. I like focusing on like one or two things very in depth, and kind of the rest of stuff, right or wrong, I don't really care a ton. So I think maybe it helps just be able to focus on what I think is important, which is trying to play well, get ready for a really good Minnesota team, and enjoy the challenge of every week there's a new scheme. Like there could not be more different schemes than the Colts to Minnesota, and just enjoying like the game plan for both, and like, okay, what are we going to do to attack it? How do I need to operate? And I think that's an enjoyable part of this for me.
Since you become the starters, or anything you particularly wanted to hone in on, and kind of made that be one or two things that you really wanted to kind of emphasize on a weekly basis?
I think after each game, I'll have kind of I don't think you can get better at like 5 things at once. I think you can get better at 1 or 2 in a week, because you're going to have to balance that with taking on a new game plan and stuff. So, I mean, after each game, I try to have 1 or 2 things that I really want to focus on, and try and find a way to work on those in practice. If anything, it maybe isn't the most realistic, situation in practice, but it's just kind of like it's almost like exercising a demon. Like, okay, I had this mistake. Like, I want to fix that, and here's my plan for the week to how I want to do that. Get some input from pitch, and then kind of come up with a plan on how to get better at that. Yeah, but I'm not going to tell you.
Have they changed? Were they different from the win on Monday night versus this week?
Yeah. I think each game's different. I think there's probably going to be trends that come up just that are common with if you played a good game or not at quarterback. It's kind of like I always make fun of like keys to the game. It's like don't have turnovers, score touchdowns in the red zone. There's stuff like that for quarterback play too. So there's going to be some, but you try to make it as specific as possible to the game. And I think it keeps you like even keel whether you win or lose. It's like, okay, what are my 1 or 2 things? When you lose, some of those things are going to be bigger issues to address, and when you win, or if you play well, they're going to be kind of maybe smaller issues. But either way, you kind of have the same focus, and it keeps you, level-headed, whether it's a win or a loss.
One of the things that this Vikings defense does particularly well, that things maybe become a greater level of importance that normally wouldn't on other weeks, if that makes sense.
I mean, yes, but I mean, they do a great job of dialing up a lot of stuff that creates a lot of issues for quarterbacks, and just game planning in general. Like they're very unique. They blitz a lot, and so I think it's kind of the main thing. And like you said, they blitz, then they drop 8, and there's a lot of variety, and got a lot of really smart players on their side of the ball that do a good job handling that volume of different stuff.
I know you talk a lot about being even keeled, but what about this process are you letting yourself just fully enjoy?
I mean, I enjoy the playing part, so it's like getting to actually go play on a Sunday and playing an NFL game after being on the sideline for so many. That's enjoyable. That's a fun part, and that is the part you want. And there's other parts of that are enjoyable too, like I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm enjoying this. Like I promise, I am enjoying this. But I think that comes out more when we're playing.
What stands out about Harrison Smith?
When I was there with him, he can do everything. He's really good disguise. He can blitz. He can cover. He's all over your eyes. And he's played so much football that it's almost like he's a quarterback on defense a little bit. Like you can't really fool him on a lot of things, and you always got to account for where he is because maybe this is his zone, but he sees something that makes him think that I'm going to go. I know what's coming. And so I remember in practice, Kirk just saying like he always had to have eyes on him, and I feel the same way getting ready for this game. Is you always have to know where he is, and he's made a lot of plays, played a lot of football, and is continuing to play at a high level.
Is there a guy over there that you really enjoyed going up against in practice? That's still there?
When I was there, I always thought Eric Kendricks was like the most impressive linebacker, especially against the pass, and he was just a good personality in the locker room. But Harrison Smith is obviously one, and I know when I was there, Daniil Hunter made a huge impact on every game. But it's not really something I feel that pressure, but it's not really my one-on-one competition. So it's it's a little bit different. So I would say probably Harry. But when I was there, I really enjoyed Eric Kendricks, and I thought he was really good. So much of pass game is having crossers go across the middle and trying to get them to bite the cheese or something and throw behind him, and he just never did it.
There's a lot going to be made about familiarity with kind of some of the guys over there. Does that make any difference at all?
There's not. I was looking at the roster. There's not really. There's a few guys that I know, but it was so long ago, and it's a completely different offense and defense. It's a completely different head coach, GM. It's completely different than when I was there. So, if anything, it's just familiar faces. That'll be cool to see. But I don't know. I don't have like an advantage or anything like that.
It's a completely different defense, right?
Yeah. So I think since I left, I might be the second coordinator. It's a while ago.
When you're out of the building, Jake, are you getting recognized more?
No, a little bit, but I can blend in pretty well. I don't stand out a ton. It's probably part of why it took me so long to get on a field.
Is your family going to run it back in the Burrow suite?
We'll see. I don't know. We're going to see if they're staying level-headed. If they're getting a little too cocky, might just put them back out in the cold.
Lastly, for me, the stakes are getting bigger every game that goes by. You played a lot of big games before. How much do you enjoy playing in big games?
I feel like every game I've kind of played in has been big. Obviously for playoff implications, but these are big games for me too. Like it's a short runway. I wasn't some high draft pick here where it's like, hey, this is your team. Here's 2 or 3 years to figure it out. Like this is all these starts are very important for me, just building a resume, and also for the playoff implications. So I don't really know if I've experienced any time on the field that has just been, hey, it's just super low stress, like not important. I've never really had that luxury. It's been, preseason games. You're in a competition. It's in practice. You only get 4 reps in practice on the scout team. Like those 4 reps feel very important.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realize self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.